The Holy Gospel for this Sunday is selected from the Gospel of Luke chapter 3. You may remain seated for its reading. As the people were filled with expectation and all were questioning in their hearts concerning John, whether he might be the Messiah, John answered all of them by saying, "I baptize you with water, but the one who is more powerful than I is coming. I am not worthy to untie the thong of his sandals. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. His winnowing fork is in his hand to clear the threshing floor and to gather the wheat into his granary, but the chaff he will burn with unquenchable fire." So with many other exhortations, he proclaimed the good news to the people. The gospel of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Where do you go when you need hope? Our young people who are in school sometimes say, "Why do I have to study, and what should I study for? And I understand that my brothers and sisters may not have a job out there." Our young people are looking for hope, that there's a God that has, "I have a plan for you, and there's going to be something waiting for you." That's hope. For those of us who may have a loved one who's in need of going from their own residence to a care center or someplace where they could be given more care, this family is making decisions, are asking, we need to have hope that our parents or our loved ones will be well taken care of. Maybe some of us have had a death recently. And in the midst of the death, the grief that comes and reminds us of it, it's real. And we ask ourselves, what's the hope that we have in the resurrection of the Christ who says, "I will be with you and give you hope, a new life"? Friends, maybe some of us are struggling with issues that nobody else knows, and we don't know where to go and how to find it. And our God is saying, "I promise to give you a candle of hope that's going to light the way for the rest of your days." That's what Paul is trying to convince us of in the book of Romans when we heard Jan read, "May the God of hope fill you with joy and peace in believing, so that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." As I mentioned to the kids already, that 3 weeks ago, Jason, Marion, and I went to Romania on a Habitat for Humanity build. It was a remarkable experience. And we went with a group from Thrivent Financial, who was our sponsor. And they call it the Pastor's Build because they invited pastors to go along on that build. And I was fortunate to be one of 5 pastors who were selected to be on this magnificent trip to Romania. Habitat for Humanity has a mission statement that says, "We will bring together God's people under God's love to build homes, communities, and hope." Our intention was to build 40 homes when we were down there in duplexes, so it would be 20 units, but with 40 different families moving into them. And it was someplace that we were en route from Minneapolis to O'Hare to London to Bucharest that we received an email that said plans have changed. There was a new mayor in Bacău, Romania, where we were building these homes. And this mayor, for one reason or another, chose not to sign the permit for us to finish the homes. 600 people were planning to come into Bacău that week to finish all 40 homes and make it ready for people to move in that week. And here they had to pare it down to just 125 of us or thereabouts from Thrivent, from the United States, to be there to do what we could to build the parts of the house. You'll hear about that later. I was so upset. I found myself so angry, and I thought to myself, the political climate in the United States isn't always positive, right? Sort of. And then you go to Romania, and there's some political issues that's restricted that which I didn't understand. I was truly disturbed until I met Lulu. Lulu was one of the people that sat at our banquet table who was going to be selected to be one of the fathers in the families moving into the new home. And when I shared with Lulu how disturbed I was, he looked me square in the eye and he said, "We wait. We wait. Without being angry, without something else, he just said in his own way, saying that I trust and I believe that the God that led us to this place is going to finish it, so we just wait. I don't know if Lulu understood that he was really giving me the gift of hope. As Habitat intends to bring people together to build homes, communities, and hope, I expected to bring something to them in Romania. I didn't expect to go home with something as important as that gift of hope. Jason Moehring, would you please come up and share with us what things looked like down there and the people that we met, and explain to us what the experience was like for you?
Excuse me. Sure. Our trip, being a few plane rides and a little bit of sleepless on the way over there, this was the first day, and to get to where we were at up in Bacău was a 5.5-hour bus ride from Bucharest to Bacău, and we got to see some great scenery and lovely landscape. Looks very much like southwestern Minnesota or South Dakota, lots of farmland and those type of things. But this is the first morning when we got there. In the background, you can see 3 houses. Those were the type of houses that we were supposed to build, the exact same thing. And you can see that the foundations are already there. The plates are already down, ready for us to build, but we weren't able to complete the houses. So in between where the foundation is and the houses in the back, that's where we spent 5 days building trusses for the roofs of the new houses that are to come. Here's one of our hardest workers in our group. It looks like that hat fit a little bit better than the guy who's just up here, but and he's got that wonderful square-headed hammer, and we're putting the
Gussets.
The gussets on the
Trusses.
The trusses, and I think I went on the trip. I can't remember now.
Yeah, we were on the same trip.
Now this is one of the foremen from Habitat Romania who was working with us during the week. And Peter was such a warm-hearted gentleman. He worked side by side with us. He knew a little bit of English. He was always there helping us get things going. And he was good enough. And we keep going. He really made the build an enjoyable event. So. So the hats, so if you notice, Peter had a green hat on, and in this picture there's the yellow hats and then the blue hat. The different hats signify who the people are. So the green hat were the people from Habitat Romania. The yellow hats are the future homeowners. So those are the people who are going to be receiving homes. And then the blue hat are the volunteers who are there. Most of them were high school kids who were helping translate for us so that we could communicate. But a lot of people down there know English very well. They learn English. They get about a year's worth of English in school, about 5th grade. And then Lorenzo or Lulu shared with us, we said, how did you learn English so well? He said, well, a lot of the TV programs are in English, and they have subtitles. And with the basis that we learn in school and that, we learn English pretty well. So, and here we are. So when we laid out the trusses, Dan and I and 1 or 2 other people, we would put the trusses on a form that was already there, get them laid out, screw them down, and then put the support beams across. And we had 6-inch nails that we're driving in, trying to, shore that up so they're nice and solid. And then the rest of the team would come along and put the plates down and put 20 nails into each one to keep them together. This fence, when we first got there, is kind of bleak. There's a little pond in the middle of everything. And one of the things we were able to finish was the fence. Dan and I didn't get to work personally on that, but some of the people in our group did. And it was so neat how they stain the wood the different colors, just to bring some life to it. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason why they built that fence, for the 40 families who are going to be there, there's about 95 kids who are with those families. And the two families that we got to know, well, they're still planning on having 2 more kids. So there's going to be lots of kids who are going to be playing there. And also they're able to finish some playground equipment that for all those kids to play on. So this picture, I think it's off the first day, and we have the wonderful red shirts on. Hey, it looks like it fits you there too. But I thought, well, let's get a selfie here, and I posted on Facebook with me and Dan and Lulu, and took the picture and looked at it, and there he is with his fist in the air. He is so happy and so proud to be there and to be helping us side by side working on his future house. So this is the 3 wives of families. We got to know the 2 on the left a little bit better. There's Nicolina and Anka. They, Lulu's wife is on the left, and then Marius is another person that we got to know, and he's a paratrooper in the military. We got to know them very well, and we'll show you some pictures of getting together at their house, but so warm and inviting to us. This is our little friend David that you heard about. David, he's 6 years old. He has kind of a traditional shirt on. And, just like our kids, when we're sitting here and it's not so exciting, he's sitting there being pretty fidgety and those type of things. So his dad had a cell phone for him, and he's playing games. He came over to me afterward, and he's showing me his phone, and guess what he's playing? He's showing me all the Pokemon that he's collected in Pokemon Go around Romania.
But
kids are kids everywhere.
That was the first night that his dad brought this phone. The second time, a banquet we had, he did not have his dad's phone. He was kind of sitting on the table, kind of down. And all of a sudden, I saw him close to Jason. And Jason was friends to everybody in Romania. I think everybody was a friend of Jason's over there. So I wasn't surprised to see little David there, but then I discovered what he was doing. Jason got his phone out and got Angry Birds on so he could play on his phone during the night. No wonder why he's so good in sales, huh?
So this next picture, we got a chance to see 3 families' homes in Romania. This one, we took a bus during the build day. They wanted us to see some of the conditions that people are living in. What you're seeing here, we've got a group of about 8 or 9, maybe 10 people. This is their entire apartment. This is where they live. They have one room with that little curtain there. Behind there is their kitchenette. Family of 4, mom, dad, and 2 kids. They have one bed. They all sleep in one bed. And bathroom is shared for the entire floor. So down the hall, there's the bathroom, one shower that is working that the whole floor shares, and there's about 2 or 3 toilets that they use, but the toilets are very different.
Hole in the floor.
There's 2 treads that you stand on, and that's it. So we didn't have those to use. We had normal plumbing. And the other families had more of that, but this is some of the conditions. And so each afternoon during lunchtime, they had a family share their story. The dad of this family shared his story about his health condition. He was taking a step back. We also found out that Tuesday or Wednesday of that week, when we were traveling, each family is supposed to be picking out the house that they're going to move into. They were supposed to move in on Friday when we were there into their new homes. This family, mom, dad, and 2 kids, we found out he has lung cancer. And he shared his story that, even though they're not going to be able to move in, he's not sure if he's going to be able to move into the house because of his health. But he is so happy and so grateful and felt so blessed that his wife and 2 kids were going to have a house to live in and not have to live in this apartment and share the bathroom with, 50, 60 other people. So Thursday evening, we're getting down towards the end of the build week. They bring everybody together again for another banquet. to share stories. They had dancing and a magic show for the kids and music and very good time. So we have a full banquet. And then Lulu and his family said, well, we want you to come over to our house and see our home. We said, okay, well, we come over and you can see in the front on the table there his in-laws, so that's her mom who had a stroke. She has little issues getting around. And Dad, who's an electrician, they had a plate of all kinds of cold meat and sausages, piles of cheese, huge pitcher of wine, and Dan's new favorite drink, tree cup. Paint thinner might have something going on it.
Yeah, that would taste better, I think.
So not only did we went there and the hospitality is overwhelming, but then we got to go to Marius and his family's home. And this is their little daughter who Dan is sharing pictures, I think, of your grandkids, but she was the cutest little 2-year-old girl and just a smile everywhere she was. When we were at the party, she was dancing and having a good time. But little Alyssa was just adorable. We also got to go tour the other homes, and these were the homes that we were supposed to be completing just like this by the end of the week. Very nice. They have some air conditioning. And on the inside, this is their kitchen area. They have a kitchen with plenty of room for a table and chairs, much larger than any apartment that we had seen. And a refrigerator and stove and washing machine. They also have 2 bedrooms, a full bathroom with a bathtub, and those trusses are built so that they can actually have a loft in the upstairs area. So, and we also learned about the washing machine and the appliances. They're all donated by Whirlpool. And Whirlpool, for every International Habitat build, they donate a refrigerator, stove, and washing machine. The CEO of Whirlpool was questioning, he had just been appointed, and questioning why they had this big expenditure for all these appliances. So they invited him to go on a build and learn about it, and they went to Romania. And not only did he confirm, yes, we will always give appliances to every house, but he also felt so generous that he said, we need a playground for this community. So he paid for, out of his own pocket, to build a playground for that community too. So, Thursday morning, every morning we start off with health and safety, and we also start off with a devotion. And this is a picture, Dan led us in devotion on Thursday morning, and kind of sharing a similar message of hope with us. Is just great to bring everybody together in the morning and start off with a devotion and prayer. So, in this last slide, this is the fruit of our labors. We got to finish approximately 400 trusses of the 440 that were required for the homes to be built, and also all the wall components were built. And when we were leaving, they're getting all the sheeting ready. They're going to cover them with sheeting and seal them up for spring, so that they hope that they can actually finish the houses.
These trusses are a portion of what we hope to finish for the people. But for the families that are moving in, these trusses are reflections of hope. They will someday have that home. Many of the people that live in Romania go to the Orthodox Church, and they're beautiful structures and gorgeous interiors, and maybe there's something we can learn from their spiritual life there in Romania. When they go to worship, they usually go there about 8 or 9 in the morning, and they stay till noon, 3-4-hour worship services. And if that isn't challenging enough, they must not have Vikings at noon. I'm sure they don't. But they don't have pews. So they stand the whole time in worship. Imagine how hard that would be to sleep during one of my sermons there. When we visited Lulu and Nicolina's home, one of the first things they did is they pulled off the shelf a photo album. And in that photo album was pictures upon pictures of their son Daniel's baptism, like you're having today. It was their way to say to us that this is so important to us, that we know that we have a God who promises to be with us. Talk about reflections of hope. Lulu said to me that, Pastor Dan, he said, before you came, we had not met Americans here before. And he said, I did not know what you were going to be like. And he says, I thought you were kind of like space aliens. And he says, not that you look strange, but he said you were so foreign from us. But he says, after being with you for this week, he said, I found out something. You're just like us. Maybe there was a reflection of hope that we left with them, that as people of faith in Minnesota and East Bethel, that we look just like them as people who trust in a God who's with them. Jason, could you tell us of another opportunity this December that's coming?
Sure. Just like in the past 3 years, my wife Karen and I are also leading another build down to Guatemala. Very different experience culturally compared to Romania. But Dan went last year, and I think he can attest that the same experience of helping out a family in need and giving them a house with a solid roof over their head and a place to sleep is so gratifying, so rewarding that you can experience the same type of thing. We're trying to get flight arrangements made in the next couple of days here, but we still are looking for 2 or 3 more people that can join us to fill out our team. We've been assured that, if as many people as we can find, if we're still short, they'll find some locals to help us out down there. But we'd love to have a couple more people from our Saviors that could join us.
The last night that we were in Bethel, the 2 families that we were closely associated with said, please, please, please come to our local festival. And it was a midway, and they had a stand there with music that was blaring loud and lights, midway with rides and all sorts of food again. We had to say goodbye to these friends there in a midway. And as I was saying goodbye to these folks, Mario's became a very good friend of mine, but he's the one who did not speak any English. But our embrace at the very end was longer than normal. And he whispered in my ear, I love you. I can't tell you how that sent me home. People that we are hoping to give something to, that they were sending us home with a love and to share with our community that these people who are waiting for a house still love us. What a gift. My heart is so overflowing with gratitude to Habitat for Humanity, first of all. If you ever get a chance to work with them, please do so. I am thankful for Thrivent Financial for helping make this possible for so many reasons over in Romania. But lastly, I am so thankful to God for someone in our congregation who has a vision for what it means to give housing to people that don't have it, and by the name of Jason Moehring. Whether it's in Romania or Guatemala, this guy's heart just throbs for people that don't have what we have. Let's thank God for all of these things, especially Jason.